Okay, so this question comes from Edna Mode. What are your thoughts on the leaks suggesting that the next Switch will have a 1080p screen during portable play? As I have to admit, I'm just as concerned with this detail as the 8nm node prediction. While this might have been necessary given the larger screen size, I still think 720p would have been a better decision. Even with DLSS, 1080p poses a great challenge in terms of DLSS tensor core costs and the strain on the relatively meager memory bandwidth. Interesting sort of question this because on the one hand, 720p, the Switch has proven it's absolutely fine to have a 720p screen on a handheld and, Steam Deck as well. But at the same time, there are also rumors that it's going to be a larger LCD panel and maybe 1080p would have some bearing there. I don't know. There's nothing stopping developers just targeting lower resolutions anyway, right, John?
Yeah, but then we get into the whole scaling thing, right?
Yeah, but on a tiny handheld screen.
It still looks worse. This also would compound with backwards compatibility, assuming it's supported, because if they could make backwards compatibility output to the screen in portable mode in 1080p, which the current Switch does docked, it'd be fine. But if it only does 720p in portable mode on old Switch games, and then it's upscaled unevenly to 1080p, that means you're introducing blur into the image. Otherwise, you get scaling issues, right? So it's going to naturally make the image quality like actually worse than it was on an original Switch.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's just opening a bit of a can of worms there. Unless, like I said, they essentially tap into the docked mode for portable play, in which case then you could be outputting native 1080p, not for the games, but like the system itself would be putting 1080p out to the screen, and better scaling would result from that instead of everything being scaled up that way. So I mean,
you're not happy about a 1080p screen?
I'm worried about it. I'm not sure that that's necessarily the smartest play, to be honest, but we'll see. I mean, if they can really support it, it would technically look better, but I feel like 720p, even at like a size like that for games, it looks good. Like I would never look at the Steam Deck OLED and complain about image quality on that screen.
In terms of
those resolutions look awesome, even at low res, and it really gives a lot of additional performance headroom to the developers for portable mode, which could lead to better performance. So
I'm similar of mind as like I can understand the amount of time passing and the availability of 1080p screens making this easier, but I also think I like the way the Steam Deck looks, and that's 720p with a different aspect ratio more or less, and I don't feel like you're losing a lot with res at that experience. I'm just more concerned about things like battery life and performance than I am about resolution. So I actually hope they don't do 1080p. And I share the concerns of this question here from Edna Mode, that I feel it's like a little bit superfluous, but maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll surprise us with that, and then they'll make it up with DLSS, and the games are actually running maybe at 540p internally.
I was thinking.
And then they can make it up, and the cost, because don't forget, like running a tensor core, expensive in terms of maybe frame time, but it should be lower power envelope cost, like power because it's fixed function versus doing a normal like compute or something like that. So,
and I mean, technically 540p, would you agree, Alex? 540p with DLSS up to 1080p on a screen like that would probably look better than just native 720p.
It would probably look better than native 720p. I actually think performance mode DLSS 1080p is good looking on small screens. Like it is. Obviously, if you blow that up to like my C1 here, I don't like it. But that's a very different situation.
Yeah.
I think we could agree, though, that we would all prefer a lower res OLED screen over a higher res LCD, though.
Yes, I would prefer
I actually think the beat they're missing here, and I don't know, maybe they'll still do it, but like I think having HDR support in portable mode on the Switch would have made a big striking difference for any potential buyers. Because when you see LCD, or even if it was an LCD, but like seeing HDR in a handheld thing is just awesome. And phones are doing it. Steam Deck OLED does it. I think it's just awesome to have little small HDR capable displays in your hand. And it's something that would be great for Nintendo to get into. And they should also support it in docked mode. Like, come on, we need HDR.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree entirely with that. Yeah, DLSS 540p to 1080, I think will look absolutely fine. Just to say, I think we did do some tests on that. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did on my RTX 2050 sort of projected Switch 2 tests there. So, yeah, give that a shout. I didn't have any problems at all with it, to be honest. So, yeah, I think it would be pretty good.